It's time now to tackle the headline. We're giving a little bit of our own fixturing feedback. Now, boys, we've just reached the third point of the season. We're waiting on the back half of the season fixture, which all eyes are on that. But take us around the grounds, Corbin. What have you thought of the venues so far?
Look, I know there was a lot of talk about Mars Stadium on the weekend in Ballarat because of the construction that was going on around it. I'm contending even with the construction, it's not a great venue.
I just would like to apologise to the people of Ballarat because Corbin has assassinated the character of everything about you, your stadiums, your infrastructure, the people, the character of those people as well. Anyway.
I'm very much a city slicker, but I think there's ways we can do it, perhaps at a more established grounds. We can have a little Visit Ballarat game, for example, but maybe just play it in with a bit more protection for the players, given the fact it's almost a different sport when we go and play at these grounds with less protected, more variable elements, I guess, that come into play.
So are you open to playing at a stadium that's outdoors, or does it have to have like an inner city oat latte sort of feel about it?
It must have at least be able to be protected from the wind sort of sweeping through. And
fair enough.
I look forward to seeing you at Casey and Frankston and all these lovely AFLW venues.
He doesn't know what Casey is.
The AFLW is it's very unfortunate they have to put up with all of that. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, that's why the part of the Tasmanian bid has the roof as attached to it as part of the ground. So if I'm looking at the top three and the bottom three, Loz, the bottom three is clearly the Ballarat, Hobart, even places like Alice Springs, for example. A completely different sport. I get it. It's great. It's good to take the game to the regions, but I think it has too much of an impact on the season. And then the better grounds in the country are clearly, it's hard to go past the MCG.
Yep.
The Adelaide Oval, the perfect blend of the old and the new. They've still got the hill. If you want to go stand out there and feel nostalgic and everything else, you can do it. And I feel like Marvel Stadium gets a bad rap. It still produces great footy. Weather can be ordinary outside, and yet the ball pings around under the roof. So there's a little top three, bottom three.
Once again, to the people of Alice Springs, we apologise to you as well.
Love Alice Springs.
Yes. What about Darwin? A bit too sweaty, a bit too humid? Or...
So we'll find out this weekend, probably, when the dogs go.
Darwin's a difficult one because it is a great place to visit. So there's, I've got that really high on my list. Not that the other ones aren't, but Darwin is a great spot.
Some of them, sightline's better when you're calling, of course. You're the superstar caller. Serious question there. Are some of them perfect to call out? Are some of them too far away?
They are. That's one thing Ballarat does have going for it. Great media facilities. They do look after us down there. There's no doubt about it. Now I feel bad. I'm retreating somewhat on my...
Tourism Ballarat will be on to you. Optus Stadium, I reckon, probably stiff to miss there. Of course, Freo call it home, Ralphie. Are we officially blacklisting the Dockers from Friday nights after what they dished up last week?
Well, unfortunately, they've got a Thursday night against Collingwood, and they've got a round 15 Friday night. I want to put them in fixture jail. So for Josh Bowler there, so from round 16 to 23, it's 8 weeks. They're in fixture jail. They don't play great football. They've had a couple of good games and they've actually been high scoring when they've won, but just too often they just, unfortunately, are just horrible for viewing. And the problem is when they play in Melbourne, like it was just so flat, 20,000 against St Kilda. So sometimes that can generate enough atmosphere if it's 40,000 at a bad game, but unfortunately haven't got great pulling power. I'm putting Richmond in fixture jail as well. A couple of great victories, Gold Coast and Carlton, but the other contest, I think they haven't got within 28 points of 5 of the 6 opponents they've played. There's been some maulings. And so, even, of course, as much as the Hawthorn Centenary was amazing, it was a horrible game. Yeah. So, Richmond, you're in fixture jail.
Who then is on the fixture pedestal? I'm going to make a case for the way that Adelaide played on the weekend, particularly, that run and gun style. I would personally love to watch that on a Thursday, Friday night. Obviously, what the Bulldogs are doing at the moment, I know they've had a couple of those. Who are you wanting to really see more of up on the dais in that, as you say, 16 to 23 block?
The Dogs are sleek, they're sexy, they are attractive, they've got great storylines. The narrative there with their coach, with their best player there as well. Sam Darcy back in 3 or 4 weeks, maybe the best young player in the game, so I absolutely love them. GWS were a side that played that run and gun football. They're not trustworthy right now, and again, playing in smaller stadiums too, like NG Stadium, so probably they're struggling.
And the Premiers, surely.
The Premiers, they're extraordinary to watch. Just another one for me is that if Essendon can really get a head of steam up, what I'd really like to see in the last 6 weeks of the year is them just collapsing like normal. And so that's always really compelling for me to watch as well. Essendon, unfortunately, going from, what was it, third twice in 2023 and 4, and then all of a sudden they just collapse in a heap. Sorry, Essendon.
So Ballarat coming for you, Essendon coming for you. I know these things come in threes, so God knows where we're ending up next. What else would you like to see in this back end? Are we tinkering with time slots? What are we looking at?
I'm big on Sunday nights. I think they've had 6 Sunday nights, and a couple of them have been really well done by Josh Bowler. So, of course, that Gold Coast Brisbane game, which is before a public holiday. I think there's a WA Day game coming up. Of course, I think it's a showdown. I'm in for even more of them. I'd even try a couple of Mondays. Maybe if they're a 6:30 game. even though we love On the Couch. We'll just move that to Tuesdays. The 4:30 grand final, I'm just inching closer to a later time slot. I'm not putting it at night. I think we've both got kids, and I would hate to see kids missing out on watching that game as they did for the Melbourne Bulldogs game in 2021. But I'm not banging in at Twilighter. I'm just inching closer towards it.
We're not putting them on Tuesdays because that's when we're on for the midweek tackle. So sorry, Couch Boys. Overlappers are always frustrating too, aren't they?
Take advantage of the Perth time slot. It's a little bit later. You could do some funky things with doubleheaders on a Friday night or whatever it turns out to be. So, maybe play proper night games in Perth. I know people in Perth are always complaining that, our night games start at 5:30 or 6 o'clock or whatever it is. So if you gave them a proper night game, kicks it later in the evening, and you could almost go back to back in some evening viewing.
Yeah.
And just one as well. So for that game in round 24, which of course will not be as part of the new fixture release. So that's Gold Coast versus Essendon. So they both also have another game in that fixture, in that floating fixture, and then they play the last game. You would imagine, even if Essendon do fall in a heap, Gold Coast is going to be compelling viewing. So, you'd think they play finals. Are they pushing for a home final? Are they pushing for a top 4, pushing for top 2? So I just think we've seen enough from them right now for Josh Bowler, about 6 weeks out from that round 24 fixture, to say, OK, they're that last game on a Wednesday or Thursday leading into the pre-finals bye. I think they've earned it. And you reckon the AFL's $300 million baby? You think they don't want to give them all the prime time and exposure they can to finally make finals in their short AFL history.
Yeah, well, there you go. That fixture computer at AFL House, as if it doesn't have enough to deal with. We've given plenty more machinations for it to go with. So good luck, Josh Bowler and fixturing team, with all of that. That's it from us on Tackle the Headline. We'll see you next time.